Well, there's some really cool technology that was created for NASA about 30 years ago, and now it's being used to help with things like pain, anxiety, inflammation.
Yeah, it's called Pulse Electromagnetic Frequency, and it's being used here in our valley. Javier is at Core Fitness in Phoenix with a look. And how is it treating Arnold?
All right, I got to set this whole thing up. Yeah, see, okay, so we got some video. We got to set this whole thing up. So last hour, we're here at Core talking about Electrons Plus therapy. Now, Arnold Espinoza, he's been having some shoulder problems and really didn't have a lot of range of motion until we introduced him to Kiki Cordero. You brought him in. Explain how this thing works.
Okay, so it works on a cellular level, number one. It's going to reawaken all your dormant nerve endings, and it's going to find where muscles are dormant as well and not firing. And it goes through us as a conductor onto you to find those specific points, and then it wakes everything up, increases that circulation, takes out that inflammation, and allows your body to move functionally again.
The first time you saw Arnold's range of motion, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts are, oh, I got this. And then when I saw the range of motion down, I was like, thanks a lot, Javier.
I'm going to put you to the test, right?
But you know, honestly, we see this every day. People, like, they live with pain and they're used to it and they don't want to get surgery and they think that's the only option, and we're giving them another option to overcome their pain, avoid surgery, and have a better quality of life.
This was a lot of work, though, for you.
It was a lot of work, but you know what? He has a decent sized knot in the back of his arm right here in his little like rear delt connector. So it just means that we have to work on it a little bit more. I am confident that in the next like 1 or 2 sessions we can blast through it and allow him to live normally with his proper range of motion again.
So what you started out in one section, then you realized, okay, this might be bigger than we originally anticipated. You went to another section. How do you figure out which section to go to?
We always start with fingertips. The trigger points send it to the neck. We go to the neck, and usually there you'll be able to know when people are jumping and when they're not, on where they have more tightness and less nerves that are open. And then from there, knowing that it was his bad side, you always have to work the opposite side because you overcompensate. And he actually mentioned that. He was like, I feel like this side's getting jealous, but in reality, this side will hold a lot of your tension to protect the side that's injured. So then we go down to this side. I see where he's moving and where he's not. He had absolutely no feeling in the back of his shoulder. So we just had to really try to get through that. He started to feel a little bit, but the max is 30 minutes. Sometimes we go to 45, but other than that, you're basically going to sleep like a baby, and we want to make sure he can function the rest of the day for you.
I like that. Our bosses will appreciate that as well, making sure he doesn't sleep the rest of his shift. Let's go ahead and rack that camera. We're going to show you the range of motion because really, I was blown away. He didn't have a lot of range of motion this way, but at one point, he couldn't even lift up his right arm.
Yeah, he was totally offset laterally. He was able to take both arms back, but one got stuck where the other one didn't. And then turn down, that's where you can see his tightness in his right shoulder.
Okay, so Arnold, show us, and then before, you couldn't reach up above your head. There you go. And the one sticking point, show us the one sticking point. Okay, so you see the difference in the shoulder right there. You said that could be his rear delt, Kiki?
There's definitely impingement in his rear delt. He feels like he might have just a little bit of like a bursa sac that might be inflamed. So we're just going to try to get through that and release it for his next session.
But wow, are you guys blown away? Because I certainly was. We saw he had lack of motion. What do you think, Arnold? How do you feel?
I do feel some relief in it for sure. Just I want to get it back to 100%.
All right,
Throw you those footballs, Javi.
bosses, we gotta get Arnold the arm Espinoza. We gotta get the arm and Arnold the arm Espinoza back. And so we're working on that, guys. But again, we're here at Core. Kiki Cordero, she can make it happen. Your first session is $35. Guys?
Nice. The arm is back.
Yes, that's incredible. Thank you.
He couldn't send it back to you before. He couldn't send it back.
We caught it.